reading about all the work that you do for Black female filmmakers like myself. So
Oh,
I just wanted to first off say thank you.
oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
Are you screening your Josephine right now? Is that what you're screening at the embassy?
No, no. So I had the opportunity to go to Africa in September
Mm.
on a program called Daylight Africa Week. And it was inspired by the whole 1619 project,
Oh, wow.
where, and so our community leader, where I live, decided that he wanted to take some African Americans back home. That's what he said. And so we went there, and everything, a lot of it was documented.
Oh,
And so they edited all together and put together an incredible documentary. So it's getting its world premiere at the Nigerian embassy. So
nice.
that's where I'm going.
Amazing. Oh, please let us know how we can see it in the future. That would be great.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. I think we'll have it at our film festival coming up.
okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Wonderful. And so yeah, I had been reading on you and I read that you started the African American Women in Cinema like
Yes.
25
Hmm.
years ago?
Yes. Wow. Great
Wow.
work. Great research.
What was your main reason for creating it? What was the impetus that you were like, we need something like this? I have my
Well,
theory, but I want your perspective.
well, I I got a call from a casting director. She was hired by a major motion picture company, and it was for a small role, under five.
Mhm.
I didn't know it at the time, but a lot of those roles never make the movie. They end up on the cutting room floor. But when I got to the audition site and opened the door and saw about 1,000 women that fit the bill, it was a moment that woke up inside of me an advocate. And later, Erica, I found out I am actually a descendant of a civil rights leader from the 1800s. I
Wow.
had no idea. And so that triggered everything.
It's
Just
in
that
your
one
blood.
encounter
Love it.
came to the forefront.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
And so in these last 25 years, what progress have you personally seen being
Hmm.
made? And what do you see that is still lacking, especially for women and
Yeah.
Black women in film? So,
Oh man, that's such a great question. Well, when we got started 25 years ago, we didn't have the technology that we have today. We did not have the social media, internet. So if you wanted to make a movie, it was a very expensive idea. A lot of your listeners may not know, but you actually had to buy real footage. You had to buy real film stock, either 8 millimeter, 16, or 35. And if you were able to get some sort of a budget, uh, high end, maybe 70, but that's totally, if you could do 35, that was major.
mhm.
And then, seeing these women who just did everything they possibly could to tell their story on this film, and then buying sound recording tape, and then going to the steam back and splicing everything together, then send it over to Technicolor for color correction. And that was just the process. So after you did all that, then there was no distribution for you.
Yeah.
You would either have to four wall the theater or rent a community place and invite all your friends and family and have them pay a price to see it.
Yeah.
So fast forward to now, the technology have leveled all of that, a lot of that. We actually had a film one year at the film festival that was shot completely on the filmmaker's iPhone.
Yeah.
And I said, wow. So that took a big chunk out the budget. I mean, she still had to pay for crew and things of that nature. But I mean, wow, no camera equipment. So that's one. The second one is promoting. I remember when we had to go and print up postcards and hire a quote unquote street team and have them distribute the postcards everywhere they can find or thought it was applicable.
Yes. Yes.
Now, Instagram it, Facebook it, exit, and it's so that saved a lot on the marketing. And those are two major, well, and then I'll just go and say this last one, distribution. So if you can't get a major distributor, you can distribute it yourself,
Yeah.
especially if you have a following. You can put it up on Vimeo. Vimeo have a Netflix-like feature,
Yep.
and or you can create your own website, have people pay, and then they watch the film. So those are the major changes that I witnessed from the time that we started that actually have been a huge plus, a big benefit.
And so with your organization, are you helping teach the filmmakers that these are the tools that that can help create possibilities for them to get their film seen? Is that what your main purpose is?
Well, our main purpose is I found, so again, when we got started, there was not a lot of opportunities for these filmmakers to have their work shown in
Yes.
front of an audience. So we created that.
Yeah.
And then as we progressed along, we understood that a lot of them could not afford the film school prices. So, so then we became the film school through our film festival by inviting prominent industry professionals to talk to them and let them know these things that we're talking about now. I'll never forget, one year we had Robert Townsend, and he was so comical, but his delivery was so on point. And he talked about how he created his first film off of credit cards. But he was able to, in addition to that, because he starred in a national commercial, he said at the time he got paid $15,000. And he said when his mother saw the money, she didn't know where he got it from. She said, "Oh my gosh, you're selling drugs." She said, "No, no, mom, not doing."
Oh man, yes. That's how I've gotten my start with commercials. And it was funny because my parents are both teachers and they were like, What are you do? What are you doing?" And then they saw the check and they were like, "Oh, okay." Yeah. So funny.
Yes, yes, that is a game changer.
Yeah. Well, so you just screened the Dear Josephine at this year's Sundance Film Festival. Can you tell me a little bit more about that film and the Sundance
Sure,
in general?
sure. Not a problem. The film, how that came about was that in November, I believe it was November 30th, 2021, Miss Baker was honored with the highest honor that any civilian or citizen could ever receive in the country, and that was that her remains was moved to the Pantheon Cemetery, which is only reserved for heads of state. And the way that they celebrated this woman, it was as if she was the first Black woman president of the country.
Wow.
And I was just so inspired by it. So subsequently, I was introduced to one of her son's friends. And we were talking, and I said, I've been so inspired by Josephine Baker. Growing up, I just saw things like Roots and the autobiography of Jane Pittman. But when I saw Josephine Baker, it was it was a major breakthrough visually for me.
Yeah.
And let me see the power that really exists in anyone who's willing to express it, but in position to express it. And so I said, well, we have to do something. And then I called one of our members and I said, listen, this is the idea that I have, and did not know that she said she was an undercover dancer.
Oh, I love that.
So the undercover dancer got inspired. And so we put together It's a very short documentary, but it ended up winning a major award at the Orlando Urban Film Festival. They didn't even have a category for this particular award that they gave us. They told us that once the committee saw it, they were so inspired they created a category for it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That feels good. I'm sure.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Um,
Yeah.
and what can you tell? I'm just curious about you and like where did you get your start? How did you come to
Oh,
Hollywood? What attracted you to just being
oh
part of this industry?
well, I went to, I was studying travel, tourism, business management, veterinary medicine in high school, travel, tourism, business management in college. And like the year that I was graduating, the day before I graduated, I got bit by what Jennifer Lopez called the entertainment bug, but I
Yeah.
didn't know what I I needed to be doing.
Yeah.
And so I just dibble dabbled in like many things, modeling. I did some extra work. That's how I ended up on that casting. We'll go into that casting call. Um, but